truth, which was the job of the journalists. Somebody just asked me, looking at my knee situation, that how are you? And the response that I have is that even though I have an injury, I am doing better than 7 million people right now, and I have no reason to complain. There are people who are completely under house arrest in a sense, because they aren't able to move, whether because of the civilian curfew or because of the unsaid, undeclared kind of curfew which has been imposed there. People are, for the last 27 days, they haven't heard from their loved ones. Phones have been restored, phones of officials and some doctors have been restored. Landlines in some areas have been restored, not the sensitive areas. So if you're a very compliant area, if you do not protest very much, then you have landline service working. But otherwise, you don't have landlines everywhere. There are students who contact us every day. Some on Twitter, some through phones, some through helplines, saying that we have not been in touch with our families. And they ask for money such as, can you send me 3,000 rupees? Can you send me 4,000 rupees? When I get in touch with my parents, I will send it back to you. I will return it to you. That's the modest amounts for which people are struggling right now. And it's needless to say that there are many organizations and many voluntarily people are helping, individuals are helping, of course non-Kashmiris are helping, but that's not the point. Somebody being in this situation, putting someone through this situation, speaks of a very heartless government. There is the constitutional question of 370, which we are challenging in the Supreme Court. We are challenging the abrogation, we are challenging the reorganization bill, and we are also challenging the promulgation of the President's rule to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which happened in December 2018, because under that, when that order was passed, when Article 356 was extended to, when the President's rule was extended to the state, Article 3 of the Constitution of India was suspended. Now, what does Article 3 of the Constitution say? It says that if you have to alter the boundaries or do anything with the state of Jammu and Kashmir, then you have to, there has to be not just concurrence of the assembly, it has to be on the recommendations of the elected legislative assembly. And so, therefore, doing this is a constitutional fraud. There is that Hindi saying, which I can't really recall, which says that if you can't get what you want done, to janta badal do. That is what the government is trying to do right now. Okay, agar aapko janta se jo aapko, if you can't get the desired result, then you just change the people. That is what is happening right now, because the BJP cannot, it has this very fascist kind of fantasy to conquer Kashmir, and it can't do so electorally because they're not going to get a majority there. They tried to form the government with the PDP, that didn't go so well. So it is this fantasy to capture Kashmir, it is this fantasy to conquer, and if they can't do it with the present constituents, then they will change the constituents. That is what the whole idea is. It's a very Zionist kind of project, and they're making no secret of it. A couple of days ago, there was this event in Delhi University, which openly said that, in which it was openly said that there needs to be greater communication between Zionists and Hindutva-vadis. So they actually said as much. It sounds quite absurd, but they're declaring their intentions. So what they want to do is just have a new set of constituents, settle people there, then win elections, and then say that we conquered Kashmir. And I don't know what that's going to do. Apart from satisfying the fascist fantasies of this government, it's not going to do anything. In order to implement this draconian decision, the government is torturing people. And when we talk about torture, all of these, I had put out a very matter-of-fact tweet which actually talked about the situation. And suddenly all the media channels were like, oh my God, how can you say that Indian Army does torture? How can you say that torture is happening? We have grown up with those stories. And we didn't call it torture. We learned the word torture much later. We used to call it interrogation. Because interrogation was synonymous with torture. Interrogation meant torture. So we grew up thinking that the word interrogation actually means torture. It was in later contexts, when we studied other things, we studied other books, then we got to know that the word interrogation actually has a different meaning. It means questioning. It doesn't mean torture. but this is what it has always meant for us. I want to, there will of course be like follow-up questions, etc. But I just want to draw our attention to a very grave humanitarian crisis that is happening in Kashmir right now. There is of course the denial of medical services. Actually, it's not even denial. It's the impossibility of availing medical services right now, of availing treatment. It is so difficult under normal circumstances, and it's so difficult, so much more difficult now. When a doctor wanted to talk about it, he was arrested. He was not even protesting. He was arrested, and then the government says that everything is normal. But apart from that, there is another crisis that we're looking at, and that's my biggest fear. That's what I want to leave you with. The biggest fear is that the government has not brought these arrests on record, whether these are 3,000 arrests or 15,000 arrests or 20,000, we don't actually know. There is no official figure. We keep talking about international violation of international law, etc. This isn't even about the international law. The government is violating the law of the land. The government is violating the CRPC, which says that you have to produce, when you arrest a person, you have to produce them before a magistrate. The arrest is brought on record. The magistrate then extends the custody or doesn't extend the custody. None of that is happening. Tomorrow, if somebody were to die in torture, and people do die in torture, last year there was a very young principal, a very young professor named Rizwan. He was killed in custody, and the state is not even ashamed about it. And then they react when you talk about torture. They react as if it's something they haven't heard before. It is so routine. Torture is so routine that if somebody, God forbid, we don't know what's the situation. If somebody were to right now expire in custody, were to be killed in custody, were to be tortured to death, tomorrow the state can very well say that, oh well, we did not arrest this person. And I think that we need to make that an issue. If there's something that we need to raise on an urgent basis, it is that. Bring these arrests on record. Because if the only difference between kidnappers and the government is that the government follows a certain procedure, the government brings an arrest on record. The government says that we arrested this person on this charge for this duration. But this, what's happening right now, the government is behaving like an abduction gang. They are behaving like kidnappers, let me put it straight. Because these arrests are nothing but kidnappings. They are not arrests. They are not done in accordance with any procedure. And my biggest fear is that, and our biggest fear, I'm sure all of us share this concern, is that it might trigger a new wave of disappearances. That is a huge humanitarian crisis that we're looking at.
ताड़ना की बात है, टॉर्चर की बात है, तो बचपन में बोले कि कश्मीरी लोग जो है कहते, इसको इंट्रोगेशन कहते थे, यानी पूछताछ। बाद में पता लगा कि पूछताछ में टॉर्चर नहीं होना चाहिए, पूछताछ में प्रताड़ना नहीं दी जानी चाहिए। ये बाद में पता चला, क्योंकि पूछताछ के नाम पे हमेशा होता है। और इस समय भी इन्होंने जब कहा कि मुझे लोगों ने बताया है कि वहाँ टॉर्चर हुई है इस तरह से, तो इनके खिलाफ पूरा टेलीविजन चैनलों ने पूरा अभियान चलाया। लेकिन अभी तो टॉर्चर की इतनी सारी घटनाएं सामने आ रही हैं, और जो खतरा लग रहा है कि एक तो वहाँ पर जो मेडिकल बहुत बड़ा संकट है, क्योंकि लोग अस्पतालों तक या डॉक्टरों तक पहुँच भी नहीं पा रहे हैं, ये भी पता चल रहा है, और या उनको चीज़ें भी नहीं मिल रही हैं ताकि उनको इलाज हो सके। एक डॉक्टर ने इसके बारे में बोलने की कोशिश की तो डॉक्टर की गिरफ्तारी हो गई। दूसरी बात उन्होंने कही, जो सबसे ज़्यादा चिंताजनक बात है, कि आपने कितने लोगों की गिरफ्तारी की है, ये कहीं पर भी रिकॉर्ड पे सरकार बता नहीं रही है, राज्य बता नहीं रही है। तो अगर आपने किसी बच्चे को टॉर्चर करके अगर उसकी मौत हो गई, तो आप तो कह देंगे कि हमने तो उसको उठाया ही नहीं, पता नहीं कैसे मर गया, गायब हो गया। तो ये गायब होने वाला सिलसिला कश्मीर पहले भी देख चुका है, और अभी हो सकता है फिर से दोबारा देखें। ये खतरा है, और इसके खिलाफ में आप अरेस्ट कितने किए हैं, रिकॉर्ड पे लाओ, ये शायद सबसे ज़्यादा उठाने की ज़रूरत है, ये उन्होंने कहा।